Hi guys, it's Alex here with Recombo, and I have an HTC One here debuting HTC Sense 5, the company's new Android overlay, which is a big update over the previous iteration, which we saw in last year's handsets. I'm going to take you through some of the main new features and additions which we've now seen on Sense 5, which we haven't seen before. Starting with the lock screen here, as you can see, there's a lot more space now for your main wallpaper image, which wasn't so apparent on previous versions of the overlay. Down the bottom here we have the dock, which also permeates the main interface, so whichever home screen you're on, you can always see these four icons and you can customize whichever apps those appear on these four spaces. As well, in the middle you'll see a padlock, which is obviously the main way to unlock. You can simply grab that and drag up. There's no longer this ring pull graphic which we saw on older versions of Sense, as I can show you here. We have this ring pull, and to quick launch you would drag the apps into the ring pull at the bottom or pull that up to unlock the phone. With this we can simply drag any of the icons up to either launch the app. If I want to launch the camera, I can just drag that up and flick it upwards. Or to unlock the phone, I can either pull the padlock or this clock weather widget here, which is a cleaner weather widget. There's also the notifications bar, which you can pull down from the lock screen if you don't have a passcode, and you can actually, if you have any notifications, you can jump to that app without having to unlock the phone. So I'm going to flick the padlock up there, and now we have our typical home screen. So we still have the 4x4 grid for 16 individual icons, or of course widgets like we have here. You can have up to 4 additional home screens. There's some icons just showing you there. And if we flick to the left, we actually have the main new feature of the home screen setup, which is blink feed. At the top here we have the new weather widget and clock widget, which is a much cleaner look than this older style weather widget, which we've also come to know and recognized from previous versions of Sense. But what blink feed is a new social aggregator. So it actually takes a whole host of feeds from your social networks and also news sources picked between the likes of HTC and AOL, and these are curated by these two companies together. So I can flip down here, and it's basically a constantly scrolling news feed of a mix of general news stories and also content from my own personal life. And I can just tap a story to read about it, and I can read like a summary version of the piece, or I can actually choose to change font size and share it as well. And in some cases you can also jump to the website or social network that your story is coming from. If we just jump back to blink feed there we go. Another feature is tap to top, which, as I've now scrolled down a few ways, if I just tap the notifications bar, it jumps me back up to the top of blink feed. This also works in the App Store and on things like the Gallery app as well. It's a really nice addition that we've seen on other phones like the Galaxy S3 and most likely the Galaxy S4. In terms of news sources, you can see down the side here, you can choose some existing sites, but I can also pick and choose which ones I want to show up or hide in blink feed. So there's a lot of customization in terms of the content you want to see in your blink feed. It can even pull things in from your Gallery app as well on the phone, so it's a real mix of stuff. Similar to the likes of Flipboard and applications like that. Now if you go back to the main home screen, previously when you pinch together you could add or remove home screens, and then to add widgets you'd have to go into a separate part of the phone. With the new home screen design, you can simply pinch together and you can jump straight into the adding widgets, shortcuts or apps from this menu, as well as adding home screens by tapping the add panel button there, and you can even press and hold and remove a home screen, or conversely I can press and hold and set one as a default home screen. So now when I tap the home button, it'll take me back to that home screen rather than this, which is what we had before. Next up we have the applications drawer. The applications drawer is a lot cleaner, and the iconography is a lot cleaner as well. It looks really nice, really like the feel. And this clock widget that we also saw on blink feed and the lock screen permeates to the app drawer as well. So as you scroll up you can see we have a 3x4 grid of applications, and it's vertical scrolling now as opposed to horizontal. If I pull down slightly you can change the order. You can choose a custom layout, you can use alphabetical, or you can choose by most frequently used applications. You can even search for apps, jump to the Play Store, and if I tap the menu button here you can hide apps that you don't use but you don't want to uninstall or you can't uninstall. You can manage app, which includes features like uninstalling altogether from the phone, and you can even choose grid size, so I can go for a 5x4. Suddenly I can have far more apps on one screen and see more apps at once, which is a nice handy option to have if you want a slightly more crowded but I guess giving you more options in one screen. Going back to the clock widget here as well, I will just show you that if you tap the clock side you will go to the clock app, which is built into the OS, and the weather widget, same again, you can jump to the weather app. So it's a nice kind of mix of features there. There are a whole host of other things which we'll look at independently, such as the Zoe photo mode and HTC Boom Sound, but that's a quick look at some of the main new features in HTC Sense 5. Any comments, drop us a line down below. Thanks a lot.